Hi, it's Dave Diegelman with Equity Real Estate here for our July 2026 market report for Southern Utah. Let's do the numbers. So let's jump into the sold listings. At the end of June, we had 462 sold listings, whereas last year at the end of July, we had 456. Listing prices, the sold median price is $515,500. Last year it was at $500,000. So again, pretty stable there. Absorption rate in months, we're currently at 5.84 months worth of inventory. Last year at the end of July, we were at 5.65. Sold to list ratio, right now we're at 96%. Last year we were at 95.4%. Days on the market. So right now we're at 73.5 days on the market. Last year we were at 73.2, so very stable there. So price volume, this is how many millions of dollars worth of inventory we were selling month by month. So we just closed out at $287 million and some change. And last year at the end of July, it was $255 million and some change. So that's a slight uptick, which is a good thing. And that's up 4.5%. After that, we're going to look at the $1 to $2 million mark, and that is up 13.5%. So of anything that has decent numbers, you can see 227 versus 200 this year and last, up 13.5%. This is the largest growth category that we have. And it's funny because I predicted this about 2.5 years ago that we would be leaning into that marketplace. And luxury homes, which kind of started at the $1 million mark here in Southern Utah, you could arguably say that it starts at $850 or so. But that is becoming more and more prevalent in our marketplace, and we certainly have beautiful homes for the money. So when you compare it to other places that people are moving out of, there is a good bang for your buck in this marketplace, especially with existing inventory versus new homes. And we talk about that a little bit in the newsletter. So the $2 to $3 million mark, 95.5% increase. However, the numbers are small, so it's 43 versus 22, but that is a significant increase for that. 3 to 5 million is dead even at 15 sales. 5 million plus, dead even at 4 sales. It's encouraging to see that we have inventory selling in that area, but I don't think it's going to be part of our big trends until 3 to 5 years down the road. So let's take a look at this month's newsletter and some of the more details we put in there. By the way, we do go over the numbers a little bit more in detail in the newsletter format that we have. Again, it's on UtahDreamHomes.com under the blog, and then look under July market report. But Congress passes a landmark housing affordability bill. Even though I don't think this is going to be that significant for southern Utah, it is significant that it got passed. One of the reasons that I don't see it's going to be that significant is because they put a lot of focus on, institutional investors, and nationwide institutional investors only account for, I think it was less than 3% of our overall marketplace. And southern Utah, it's way less than that. So I'm not seeing this as a big thing, but it is a big, I think anything's a big thing that gets passed by Congress these days, because we just don't see that many things getting passed. New home sales fall in May as mortgage rates and consumer confidence takes a toll. This is still relevant to our marketplace today, so we take a look at that. This is a great article that talks about that. And we'll see if consumer confidence comes back. I think it will, but it's hard to say. Investor buying activity continues to grow in 2025 as sales dwindle. This is still relevant today, so I wanted to take a dive into that. So we look at investor sales. And then Buyers Boot Camp. This month we had Rich Cordova from True Rate Home Lending. And we look at the transition from renting to owning. And this has a lot of surprises, a lot of creativity in that. And I think you'll really enjoy this, especially if you're looking at buying your first home. This upcoming webinar that we have for July, we're going to look at selling with issues. So radon, meth, mold, and stigma issues. And we're going to have a very special guest with that, talking about what some of the remediation tactics are and what's involved in this. And you don't want this to blindside you as a seller. You want to be aware of it. You want to be aware of it before you list, if you can. And you want to address it, because these things can cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars in lost sales revenue if you don't address them. So, and then as always, we have, in case you missed it, these are our newsworthy articles from our previous month, so you want to catch those. Well, that's it for July's market report for southern Utah. Again, if I can help you out in any way, give me a call. My direct private line is 435-703-4041, and God bless you.